Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
And so begins the iPhone 5 unboxing. I have it. Right here. The iPhone 5. Or iPhone 5. I don't want to put an article in front of the object if Apple doesn't want me to. Not that I listen to everything that Apple says. Believe you me, you've seen... You know, I just realized something last night. And by the way, welcome and thank you for tuning in to the live stream if you're watching live here on YouTube. I believe notifications have gone out across all my social networks. And if you want to share the link, that's cool too. You know, link to the live video. Tweet it, retweet it, plus one it, whatever you got to do. I realized something last night. There are a few apps that I just do not use on the iPhone or even iOS. Several default apps. I never use Newsstand. I never use Stocks. I never use Music. I never use Videos. I never use Compass. I never use iTunes. I've got a lot of these default apps I just never use. And I realized that last night as we were having conversations around one of the more controversial features of iOS 6, Maps. And by the way, I think that's a tempest in a teapot. There have been many reports of people using it who say that it's been working fine for them. I haven't had a problem with it either. I mean, it's not perfect, no. But, you know, there are, of course, going to be issues anytime new software is launched. And here's the thing, and I think this is really something that not a lot of pundits have picked up on. Apple can make a lot of money with the default maps in iOS 6 not being perfect. Do you know how many nav and GPS apps are in the App Store, and do you know how much they cost? Stuff ain't cheap. And Apple makes money on all those transactions. Not to say that that's why they removed Google Maps. I think that their hand was forced, and Google, for better or for worse, just no longer in Apple's good graces, and vice versa. I think the contract wasn't renewed for a lot of reasons, but I wasn't a part of that negotiation, nor was anybody. Either way, now that we have that discussion out of the way, I want to be able to roll forward and get to unboxing this thing, because I am very, very, very excited to have this. This is my now 5th iPhone, and I've had an iPhone ever since the first iPhone. In fact, for history, if you go back and you watch the video that I posted, the first iPhone video I ever posted, I was saying that I didn't want an iPhone that first day. And now I've eaten crow for 5 years. And the app that won me over was the weather app. That was it. That's all it took. It was just so fluid. It was so smooth. When I scrolled on that screen, that won me over. So I am very happy to have iPhone 5 here in my hands, and I'm very happy that you could join us here during this particular live broadcast on YouTube. I expect that this may be one of the more popular videos I've done this month. I don't know really when the next unboxing is going to be. I've put out word to other hardware vendors, people who aren't Apple, or I guess companies, not people. People, I guess, make phones for the companies. So I would hope to be able to unbox more gadgets and gizmos for everybody out there, largely based on the survey results, the survey that you guys took the other day, go.tagjag.com/survey. You told me, like, an overwhelming majority said you want gadgets. You know, whether they're from Apple, from Microsoft, from an OEM, Android devices, I don't care. I'll bring them in. I'll tell you, what I think about anything that hits my desk. I mean, that's why I think you guys like watching me, or at least most of you. 461 likes on this video. I think half of that, you guys were liking this video before it was even broadcast, which is just kind of funny because there are more likes for this video that wasn't broadcast than for some of the videos that I've uploaded in their entirety, including a video last night you may have caught. And it was a little, it wasn't for you, the general audience that watches me. It was more for the people who are going to wonder what happened to Google Maps in iOS 6, if they even recognize that something's changed. They may have, they may not. Either way, you know that you can install a shortcut to your home screen to the Google Maps service on the web, and it's really easy to do. It may not have every single feature of Google Maps, former Google Maps on iOS 5 and before, but it's good enough. Right? I mean, for the most part, it's good enough. There's so many apps out there in the App Store, and I think that's what makes iOS a wonderful ecosystem. There are a lot of apps available for Android, too. That's a good ecosystem as well. Sorry, I'm trying to bounce. I know this is all about this. I know it's about the iPhone, but I want to make sure that the rest of the community understood that I really... I have my own choices, I have my own opinions, but am always open to seeing new things. Because here's the thing. If you pass judgment on an opinion that was formed 5 years ago, you realize technology evolves, technology changes, and, not everybody can upgrade their iPhone every year. Oh, by the way, speaking of upgrading the iPhone, this thing cost a bundle because I wasn't able to get it subsidized. So, I'm selling my 4S. It works. It does work. I know I can get at least $350 for it. So if you want to get my 4S, I will get it unlocked as soon as I, activate this phone. You can make a bid. Chris@Pirillo.com. I'm not going to put it on eBay or anything. Okay. People are saying, let's get to unboxing. Yes, I know. You got to understand. I just put the push notification out there, so I'm waiting for people to show up. Okay? Just give it a second. See, just by waiting a few minutes, we've already gained 300 more viewers. That's why I can't jump right into it. Wanted to get a few other things out of the way. Thank you, by the way, for all the good comments for people saying that the new site design on LockerGnome.com was a good thing. I appreciate that. It's not perfect, but it's getting there, and will continue to evolve thanks to your feedback. And speaking of feedback, true to form, I wanted to let you know if you haven't downloaded the LockerGnome app, it's available on iOS and Android. By the way, it runs perfectly fine on my Nexus 7 and the iPhone and the iPad. We're working on an iPad native version, by the way. I wanted to pull in the top user of the day. And I've got to watch out because right now there's a bug. People are kind of gaming the system, but I'm noticing who's sharing more in the application. And I believe I've seen, let's see here, who do I know has been interacting for the past day with us on Twitter, at Chris Pirillo or at LockerGnome. I believe Brian Roberts is going to be the top user of the day because not only has he done a lot of plus oneing inside the app, he's connected his Twitter and Facebook account, but he's done 72 shares from within this application. Again, available for iOS and Android. It is absolutely free. We're almost at 5,000 total downloads for that application. And so thank you for downloading the app and sending feedback. It's going to get better with your feedback. Believe you me. I'm very grateful that Mobile Roadie allowed us to build this app on their platform. If you want to build an app for your community, Mobile Roadie has been the most cost-effective way to do it. I easily build an app for iOS, Android. They submit it to the store. They do all the bug fixes. I can change things within the application. I can make it fun. I can. That's what my favorite part, and I've pointed this out before, is the Camera Fun app, where you can, if you've seen me posting pictures of like my head superimposed over things, you can superimpose the LockerGnome logo or the Chris Pirillo head over yourself or any other everyday object. Again, Android and iOS. Maybe a Windows Phone version at some point in the future. We shall see. I also put in there a QR code scanner because I am a fan of QR codes. I think a lot of people use them. By the way, the t-shirt that I'm wearing, as we're getting closer to 1,000 viewers, live, simultaneous viewers. Before I continue, I wanted to get to that point. This was a t-shirt that was sent to me a few years ago with a lot of words that have to do with Steve Jobs. And so I thought it was very appropriate to wear this shirt today. Unfortunately, I cannot remember who sent it or where to get it. But I know that this is the first iPhone that I'll be using. Steve probably had his hands all over it, virtually, not from where he is now, but certainly this would not have happened without Steve. I think it's important to remember that. His legacy will last for quite a while in terms of the devices we use, not just from Apple, but how Apple inspires other companies to move the ball forward. It's good to have competition. I think it's a healthy thing to do. All right. Honey, are you coming? I thought she wanted to see this. Should I wait for Diana or just tear into it? Should ask that. I'm looking at the comments here. Jonas Seabray said something. God, and it scrolled off. I've got so many people watching. I can't even keep up with your comments, which is not a bad thing. I'd rather be able to have many of you tune in for the live feed. Honey? Are you coming? All right, here I go. This is the iPhone 5 unboxing. It's on AT&T's network. Allegedly, they just rolled out LTE. We will find out if I get LTE service here. It's the 64 gig iPhone 5 black. I've gone with black iPhones all the way. I'm just a fan of black devices. I'm not a big fan of white devices. Silver is okay. Or you're coming with snackage.
Yeah, I was making you food.
Oh, food would be good. This gets. I'm sorry. I can't hold back. We've got over 1,000 live viewers right now, so you know that's.
Oh, good.
That's a good thing. Cutting away the cellophane. I hold on to all the packaging for just about every device because sometimes I will sell the devices, and it's nice to have the original packaging with it. No box fart, by the way, on this. Let me go ahead and pull over a stand so you guys can see this a little better, theoretically. There you go. We've now officially unboxed it. That's the box. There's the box. There's some air that escaped. No anthrax or anything, at least that I know of. And there we go. You guys have seen 1,000,001 of these things before by now. I mean, even I'm still watching unboxings on YouTube. Because you just get to live vicariously. And I've made fun of unboxings before. But, you know, for people that can't have these devices, it's kind of nice to be able to share them. Let me go ahead and pop it out for a second. Side by side. Whoa.
Wow.
You know, I know it's lighter. I can definitely feel it, but not, like, dramatically. And I know some people said, oh, it's so different. I don't know. I mean, you can definitely sense it's heavier, but not by much. So you should be able to tell which is which from the side. In my left hand with my wedding band is the 5 and the 4S next to it. Very nice. Yeah, honey, feel that. Feel the difference. I mean, I can feel it, but not, like, dramatically.
Right.
I mean, it's definitely lighter, but not, I don't know. Maybe as I'm using it more, it'll seem, yeah, it does actually.
From here, it looks thinner.
Whoa. When you hold on to it, when you hold the 4S or a 4, when you hold that in your hand, I mean, if you know the feel. You're used to it, right? I've been using this for a year. And you pick up the 5, and it is light. When you hold them side by side, not so much, but you can definitely feel the difference. Here we are with the 5, nice and shiny. By the way, I am a huge fan of cases. I don't want to wrap it in something in a shroud, but I like protecting the outside. Although early tests have shown that drops generally have, well, allowed the phone to survive as long as it's not hitting the front. I like having a lip of protection around the front because I just don't want to damage this at all. I am looking for a good screen protector. Likely will go with SGP. They've been good. I've got a matte screen protector from SGP on the front and the back of the 4S. That's what's kept it in pristine condition. Not a fan of fingerprints and smudges. But I am looking for a good iPhone 5 case if you guys have any to offer suggestions. There's the top. On top of the top of each of the phones. On top of the 5 is the 4S. And you see the headphone jack is gone, as is the microphone. And the microphone on the 5 is on the front, in between the lens and the flash. Now, here's something interesting, and I'm going to be doing some tests, so stay tuned. A series of tests, actually, between the 4S and the 5, not just for still photos, but for video as well, and other comparisons, don't get me wrong. Because that flash is further away now from the lens, I wonder if that's going to help red eye in low light conditions. I'd imagine it couldn't hurt, but the closer the lens is to, or the flash, or the closer they are together, the more exacerbated red eye could possibly be. A really interesting side note about the camera on the 5, before I dive into the rest of the box. Don't worry, I'm not going to read the instructions like I did for the iPad 2 unboxing. Some of you guys really freaked out over that. The way they manage the low light photos, they take an 8 megapixel image and they essentially sample 4 pixels together and downsample that low light image to a 4 megapixel image, which clears out a lot of the noise, makes it clearer and crisper. That's how it's been explained. This has happened, this type of technology for low light processing has happened with other cameras, including Nokia cameras, which I gotta tell you, for camera phones, Nokia has been outstanding for camera phones. I was happy when I was using an N91 and an N95 very briefly. Very happy with the cameras on there. I've had a lot of good reports from the image quality from the 5 camera. I've been using this as my primary still camera, not the vlogging camera. That's another camera that I've dived into. It's a dedicated point and shoot. But that's how they handle it. So if you find out that your iPhone 5 photos taken in low light scenarios are only 4 megapixels, that's the reason why. They're downsampled to be sharper and clearer to eliminate noise. And that's how Apple pulled it off. So that's not a bug. It's a feature. It's fine by me. If I can get a clear low light photo, I don't care if it's 3 megapixels, 4, whatever. I just want it to be clean. Big fan of that. And I think the camera more frequently than any other feature on the phone. On the side, I didn't want to forget that because I learned that this morning from reading articles. On the side here, again, the 4S on top of the 5. You can see the thickness of the S is definitely it's definitely skinny. It's the Diana version of the phone, very skinny. I'm the 4S. I'm squat, kind of thick, chubby, shopping in the Husky section of Sears. And you can see that the band on the black version of the 5 is also black. On the white version of the 5, or the white or silver version, it's painted white, or it's colored white. So it's just an interesting little note. Nothing really has changed there. It looks like the position, or the relative position of the switch, or the mute switch, or the position switch, and the volume buttons hasn't really changed all that much. On the other side, again, pretty much the same. You've got the different SIM cards. Of course, what is it? The micro SIM. Now it's the nano SIM. What's it going to be next year? The invisible SIM? The Sims. Someone needs to make a parody of that, right? Just have SIM cards walking around a Sims environment. I mean, those are the things I think about. All right, let's look at the butt of the eye. You guys want to know about the butt of the eye? That is one sexy ass. I tell you. Slim, trim. You could bounce a dime off it. That is... Look at that, hun. Look at that phone ass.
Wow.
Look at that. Of course, this is no longer a dock connector, by the way. This is, the classic dock connector port right there. The speaker grills on the side. Now you can see the difference between the two. The headphone jack on the bottom. This is now just the lightning connector. It's not a dock connector. They're not even going to be releasing a dock. I don't know if you guys knew that, but that was news that was circulating. Had a few people freaked out. I don't know when I don't use the dock. Everything I do is wireless. I don't sync the iPhone or any of my iOS devices to iTunes. I can't stand iTunes. I think it needs to be overhauled. I don't think it's a good management tool. I sync and back up to iCloud. I did a backup last night of the iPhone device, and so that I'll be able to restore it on the 5. Shouldn't be an issue. I don't use iTunes. I don't want to use iTunes. Anytime I connect the device, it's to keep it charged. That's it. I don't need to synchronize data over a cable anymore. This is now 2012. I'm a little beyond that. So there we go, the 5. Let's go ahead and, speaking of charging, let's pop out the... Oh, sorry. Don't want to ruin it for you guys. There you go. I almost ruined the unboxing there. It popped off the top. Likely to be the... As you're looking here at what's inside, pulling out the instructions, not to read them, but it should be, oh, look at that. Let's see, nothing else in there in the container. It just says, hello. Hello. And then I've got a couple of Apple stickers now. Interesting, colorful guide. Not really a manual, though. Ah! Sorry about that. Don't worry. It's not damaged. I plan on doing a separate review on the new ear pods. I've never been happy with Apple's earbuds. I don't like sticking anything in my ear, and I've talked about that in earlier Geek Outs. But some people say that these are a lot more comfortable. I don't know. I'm a big fan of over-the-head headphones, noise cancelers. These I might carry around to use in a pickle. Not in an actual pickle, though. More of a virtual pickle. That's a statement, figure of speech. Although, we do have dill pickle chips with us.
Yeah.
Not a joke. This is not product placement at all. I'm gonna need some unboxing juice, honey.
You are okay.
And thank you. I love dill pickle chips. All right. So we've seen the ear pods, the USB adapter to AC adapter. I may want to mark this to know that it's a newer one versus one of the older ones that were recalled. And I don't know if there's I'll probably just make a mark saying 5 or something like that so I know. And then, okay. So let me just, let me complain about something else while we're doing this unboxing, specifically in relation to this. Cable, right? I'm not complaining about upgrading the connector port, all right? I have to deal with tons of cables anyway, and come on, this thing is older than half of the people in the audience, the classic 30-pin dock connector. So I don't mind that kind of progress. My issue is this. You have a white iPhone, right? And a white cable. They do everything white. White. You have various colors of iPods. So you got a white cable for a white iPhone. Why do I have a white cable for a black iPhone? Why? It really doesn't make any sense. And I realized, Chris, that's what you're complaining about? Well, come on. It's a finer point. I do not like white cables. I like black cables. I have black cables everywhere. White cables, ooh, not so much. White cable, that's really reserved for Apple products. So I cannot wait. Oh, that thing is tiny. I cannot wait. That is very tiny, guys. And let me go ahead and hold it up so you can see it better. Hold it up against the back of the iPhone there. I cannot wait for black lightning connectors to exist. Very thin, reversible as well. And I think that's what I appreciate most about this particular upgrade. It's very, very nice. And by the way, you can see the reflection of me in the cellophane that's currently wrapped around the iPhone. Now this, you want to see fanboy? This would be it. If I were to be a fanboy, this would be it. And I'm being facetious here. Just don't make fun of me. Look at this USB cable. Look at the styling of it. The silver reflects your face. You can see it barely. It's matte, but it's such a fine finish that only Apple could do such a thing. And then you've got the USB logo right there. Do you see that? This is the most amazing USB cable ever. No, it's a USB cable. That's the beginning and end of it. I'm going to go ahead and plug her in. I like making sure I'm fully juiced when I boot the phone for the first time. If you guys do not remember the live unboxing and initial impressions of the iPhone 4S, this little device that I'm still needing to sell, it took a while for AT&T to activate it. And it was really disappointing, but it made for a funny live video, I think. All right, so I'm plugged in there. Making sure it's the USB cable in there. Yep, okay. Let's go ahead and... You guys want to see the first insertion here? Here's the first insertion. There's a little bit of like some tension. It snaps right in. It won't fall out. The nice thing is I can pop it out, stick it in the other way, which I just did, and it's booting up. There's the boot up, first boot up, the iPhone 5. You're seeing it live on YouTube, or maybe not so live. It was recorded live on YouTube. By the way, if you have not yet subscribed to the Locker Room YouTube channel, check it out. So, you see stuff there? You see it? Stuff there? You can even get email notifications right up there. See it? It's easy to do. iPhone, because I didn't know what I was holding here. It'd be kind of weird to see something else there. What? Let's go ahead and press the home button, slide to unlock, do some language lessons. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
We got some unboxing juice. Remember when we unboxed the Kindle Fire?
Yeah.
That was fun. Remember when we unboxed the Nexus 7?
Yeah.
That was fun too. Remember when we unboxed products that didn't come from Apple?
Yeah.
We do that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pick English. Even though Diana speaks Spanish, she is not allowed to touch my phone. She can touch other things, but not my phone. Let's go ahead and tap the next arrow there. Yes, I am in the United States. Choosing a network. You know, here I got a question for you guys. I've got airports here. That's my wireless network. And I had an issue. I flipped over to the 5 gigahertz spectrum in the airport, and I actually found my throughput on wired connections dropped. Like, I wasn't getting as fast as speeds on wired connections when I turned on the 5 gigahertz network. So I turned it off. I was like, oh, I don't think that's right. So I'm still, this is the 2.4 gigahertz network. I'm a little nervous about turning on that 5 gigahertz network unless I know I can tweak it appropriately. I could even use a cellular connection. It says 4G at the top. Now, it says 4G at the top, and I don't know if that's going to be LTE, although I've been told that the LTE is now in the Seattle area. I'm going to go ahead and connect to live.pirillo.com. Oops. Okay, holding the phone really for the first time. Keyboard feels normal for a iPhone. And I mean normal in the sense that it's the same width, and so my muscle memory keyed right in, which is good. I like being able to move from device to device and not have to relearn different where keys are and have my thumb go. You know what I'm talking about? You ever move from one keyboard to another and it's frustrating? Confirm your phone number. Wow. Yeah. That was easy. Now I log in here. Activating your phone. It may take a few. I don't want to show the screen because, you know, that would be bad if it showed some person. Oh, terms and conditions. There, I'll show you the screen there. Blah, 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 blah. Here's what's cute. They give you an option to disagree. You see that? You could disagree. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. Terms and conditions. Yes, I agree. No, I disagree. I don't agree to the terms and conditions. Okay, I'm on Wi-Fi. Now, after this is activated, I may go in and turn off Wi-Fi to see if I am on an LTE network here. I don't know if there's any other way of verifying it. It says 4G, and whether or not that means, oh, wow, okay, I'm on AT&T. Enable, oh, no, crap, no, I almost disabled location services. I want to enable them. Next, 4 bars. Oh, here we go. Choose to set up as a new iPhone or restore from backup. This is what I like about iOS, and there are different operating systems that do this as well. I can restore from an iCloud backup or an iTunes backup. I'm going to restore from an iCloud backup, because then it'll transfer everything over, folders, settings, everything. Well, that's the way it's been in the past. Log in with my Apple ID. Give me a second. By the way, if I miss your comment or question in the comments, it is not intentional. We got a lot of comments coming in. A ton of them. Oh, someone said wait for Diana. I think it's a little too late for that. Although she said that she's preparing a nice meal for us. She does that oh so well. And she's not even a cook, and she makes the most amazing food. Terms and conditions again? Okay, I guess I gotta agree. What am I gonna do? Oh, I agree to the iOS, iCloud, and Game Center terms and conditions and the Apple privacy policy. Yes. May take a few minutes to set up your Apple ID. Okay, choose a backup. Here we go. Today, at 12... Oh, see, I've got other backups for the iPad. Look at that. It was that easy. I just backed up last night, and now all those settings from last night will restore. I've changed a couple things since then, but it shouldn't be an issue. I'll probably go in after restoring this backup, reset network settings just to clear everything out, just in case. Hit restore, and now it's restoring settings from the backup. What will happen, what's happened in the past is it'll start doing this. Theoretically, this will be fast. I don't know. I've got a lot of apps. What it's done in the past is it's grabbed all the data, put the apps in the various locations in all the folders, because I've got a lot of folders on my iOS devices, and I'll show you here in a second just what it's going to try to restore. So it may take a while. It took me 2 days last time I had to restore the phone from an iCloud backup on the 4S. What I was trying to do, and it worked, I was trying to decouple it from an iTunes synchronization, and it worked well enough. So let me just show you what it's got to back up. So there's my primary screen, and don't worry, it doesn't even have a time remaining at this point in time. So I can only tell you, hey, this is the hardware that I've got at this point, and it looks nice. It's very nice. So I'll be able to dive in and do some questions until we can go in a little further into the software, which you guys have already seen my iOS 6 review. I'll do a follow-up with my initial or my review of the iPhone 5. That'll be a separate video, probably within the next couple of weeks after I've had a chance to use it. So there's my first screen, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then I've got a new stand on the 8th. That's how frequently I never use it. I just push it off. I don't want it. I don't need it. And each one of those screens, by the way, those are folders. Folders filled with apps. I have that many applications on my iPhone. Which one do I like the most? It just depends, right? It depends on what it is that I need to do. And knowing that there's an app for just about everything. Everything. Well, not everything, not literally everything. So let me go ahead and take a look at a few of the questions now that we've done some initial setup, as it's still going to be restoring from backup. Doesn't even have the estimated time. Maybe a while. So, but here's the thing. It activated a hell of a lot quicker this year than it did last. That is for sure. Well within a half hour of starting this thing. Did you get your second screen fixed? Matthew Dunn asks, hey Matthew, nice to see you. I wouldn't say it was fixed necessarily, like a dog would be fixed. There's apparently an issue that's systemic with DisplayPort cables connected to dual-link DVI cables, and specifically connected to 30-inch monitors. There are a few people that have run into the problem. I have been in touch with Apple to see about troubleshooting the issue further. I swapped the cables on the video card, which is like an ATI 2650. I can't remember exactly at this point. And that seems to have mitigated most of the problems that I was running into. But I wouldn't say that the problem has completely cleared up. Sanjeev Kumar asks, white versus black. It's a personal choice. I mean, and honestly, I think it's good to have the options between the two. Guys might be here for a while. This is why I won't be able to walk you through the iPhone 5 review, but we'll be answering questions in terms of this unboxing in relation to iPhone 5. Or maybe it'll restore quicker and give me just the skeleton of the folder structure, and we'll be able to dive in, so stay tuned. We're not done, not by a long shot. We have 784 likes for this video. Thank you, guys. 1,400 of you are watching right now. Thank you for the thumbs up. Now, the reason why I say thank you for this is because, a video getting a lot of views is good. I mean, getting that attention. But when you guys give a thumbs up, you're letting me know that you appreciate my effort. Whether you agree or disagree, you just appreciate the effort. And by liking that video of any content producer, that's what you're telling them. You're saying, I want to see more of this. Or maybe not just that, but things like this. And so I appreciate if you guys are tuned in. If you do happen to like it, I appreciate the likes. You should put a pic of honey on the screen. Dang it, can't see what was said. It's scrolling off. Can you buy it at the Apple Store without a contract? It depends. Although the only news I heard about that was in Canada, and apparently you could not. Can you show us the charger? I kind of did earlier. Are you planning on getting a case? Did answer that. You may have just tuned in, but yes. I find that restoring from iTunes is faster. Matthew Dunn says, I know, but I just don't like iTunes. I don't want to tether this thing to any one computer. And iTunes is just, to me, it's monolithic. It's so outdated in terms of software for management. And that's why I've decoupled myself from it. And I honestly recommend that for other people. Here's an interesting app that I found yesterday, by the way, for all you iPhone users. God, where did I put it? Maybe this will... I swear I kept it on here. Yeah, okay. So, I did put it somewhere. In iOS 6, there is now the option... Let me just narrow it down a bit. And the reason why is because other data was pulling up. Now when you search for something in the search feature, it'll show you which folder it's in. I love that because... How many folders does Chris Pirillo have? Too many. So it's called PhotoSync. And for those of you who've decoupled from iTunes, this is an application that will allow you to synchronize your photos from a desktop computer, Mac, or OS 10 or Windows or Mac or PC. You can even synchronize between an iOS device and another iOS device. And it's an easier way of transferring photos back and forth, which I couldn't do otherwise. If you use one computer and like you're using iPhoto connected to a computer, you have to go through that computer, and that annoys the hell out of me. I don't want to be connected to any computer for my data, and Apple still hasn't solved that problem. It's a big problem. PhotoSync is the only software I've found that will do what I need. without using iTunes, without using iPhoto, getting photos from my desktop on Windows or OS X to an iOS device. And it works. It works very, very well. $2, less than the price of a cup of coffee, a really good cup of coffee. And the desktop app is free. It looks like Amplifier Q3107 says, I have PhotoSync and I love it so much. Yeah, it's really convenient. It really works. In the future, give us your opinion on both the iPhone 5 and the Samsung 23, Chris. I don't know what the 23 is. But I had to send my Galaxy S3 back for review unit purposes, but I'm going to be getting a hold of another one. So I'll be doing more comparisons. So expect in the future comparisons between the 4S and the 5. Be doing a separate video on that. The video output of the 4S versus the 5. Photos between the 4S and the 5. Low light, as well as, nature, screen differences. And it's difficult to show you right now. But because of the screen technology in the 5, they've eliminated a layer on top, which I've seen in videos. The colors, the gamut, the color gamut on the iPhone 5 screen is, well, things are just better saturated. The whites are whiter, the blacks are blacker on the new screen versus the old screen because they removed a layer of the technology and actually put the touch layer directly on the screen. They eliminated something, so it made the colors brighter because there's less light, or there's less layers that light has to go through. I think it's the easiest way I can explain it to non-geeks. See, that's the thing, guys. In terms of, you ask, well, who am I going for when I create the content that I do? Yeah, geeks, I love you, and you're a core part of my community, but I do my best to try to communicate, something that's very technical in a non-technical way. I would rather, get the appreciation of someone who doesn't know much about technology, but I have to explain it to them in the simplest terms without them getting caught up in, I don't understand, what does that mean? And they get lost, and then they feel frustrated. If you understand technology, you owe it to other people to be able to explain it in a non-condescending fashion. And granted, I admittedly sometimes can get condescending if I feel frustrated. No doubt about that. Checking in on this. Oh, estimated time remaining 2 hours. Could be good. What if Apple makes an iPhone 5 within the next year? It's likely to happen. Or I'm sorry, 5S. It's likely to happen if 3G, 3GS, 4S, 5S. Does the screen seem more responsive? I never had an issue with responsiveness on any iPhone screen, but it seems to be just the same. In terms of visuals, seems to be exactly the same in terms of sliding things around. I've not yet been able to see performance. That I really want to reserve for a well-thought-out review after using it for some time, because I would be able to tell you, I could see the difference or I couldn't see the difference. Just, again, based on my experiences, my opinions. That's really all I can share. I can't share your opinions. I can give you a platform to share your opinions on. Chris, do you put music on your iPhone? Asks Computer Lucas. I do, but I do not. I do not believe in managing separate MP3s. Separate. It's not really a word. Could be. The music apps I use are Pandora, Spotify. If I have music tracked as separate files, I keep them on Amazon. I'm a huge fan of Amazon's cloud services. It's affordable. It's cross. This is why. Here's why Chris Pirillo chooses to put his music that he downloads individually as MP3 files from legitimate services, not pirated. This is why Chris Pirillo puts it on Amazon, not Apple, not Google. Because Amazon has a player for all those files, all those music files, for both Android and iOS. It's the best cross-platform solution for managing your MP3s, your music, if you want to track music separately. So that is why I choose Amazon. It makes it easy and simple, and they have a great library. They have a good app, and I pay Amazon Prime anyway. I love Amazon Prime. I pay Google. I pay Amazon. I pay Apple. At this point, I don't pay Microsoft for regular services. Not yet, at least. But I do use Microsoft services every so often. I use Google Docs. In fact, hey, Chris, you're all about Apple. Really? Google Docs over iWork any day. It's just my usage model. I use Google Docs. I love Google Docs. Google Chrome over Safari any day. Even though on OS X, Safari's desktop performance outshines Google Chrome. I still like Google Chrome more. So, you only believe in Apple things. Yeah, I guess by using Google Chrome and Google Docs and Google Plus and Google Search, I'm all about Apple. Hang on, I'm trying to figure out the logic in that. It's in there somewhere, buried somewhere. I don't know where exactly, but I just want to say, I don't care. I just want to use good stuff. And I'm always looking for things that are going to work for me. And Google Docs works. It works very, very well. I live inside Google Docs. I have so many Google... You know how many Google applications I have installed on this phone? I probably have more Google applications installed on this phone than Apple applications. Not exactly, but it's pretty damn close. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. The Google folder right there. There's my Google. My Google. I got all the Googles. Oh, by the way, I don't have the app installed on this, but I do on my iPad and on the Nexus. Google Currents. It's kind of like Google's version of Flipboard. You can subscribe to Locker Gnome's content or my content in Google Currents. If you haven't tried that, it's a free application from Google, cross-platform. As far as mobile services are concerned, cross-platforms means Android and iOS at this point in time. iPhone 4S and iPhone 5 has the same camera. No, that is not true. Different technology in the cameras. Yes, they're both 8 megapixels, but come on. That's like saying every 8 megapixel camera is the same. No. It can output 8 megapixels. It's everything else that comes with that camera. Not just the sensor, but the technology that allows you to take better low-light photos. There's one feature on the website that I cannot wait. They didn't explain this in the keynote, that I cannot wait to dive into. This is the key. Reduced motion blur. They've stated this in relation to the iPhone 5's camera. They did not state it for the 4S camera. That is my number one complaint with any camera, whether it's on a phone or it's a point and shoot, doesn't matter. Blur. I hate blur. Hate it. And Apple has the possibility of eliminating. Google and any OEM has the possibility of eliminating it. I mean, you've got optical image stabilization with video recording on the 5 or the 4S. They've improved it with the 5. But they said reduced motion blur for the iPhone 5. And I'm really, I'm very happy about that. So I can't wait to test it. In a regular scenario where I'm just holding it with one hand and I'm kind of, just holding it regularly. If I get blur, I'm very, very anxious to try that. It is my number one issue with the with camera phones is the blur. So it's not a fan of that. Which phone fits better in your hand? I feel about the same, honestly. Just right off the bat, it's the width, right? And I may have small hands, and granted, I don't know if I'm going to hold it any differently, but my thumb definitely can't span and this is, I have an issue with larger screens being able to operate them with one hand. My thumb has no problem getting around the 4S or the 4 screen or earlier screens. It may be a bit of a struggle to get to the top with one hand on the 5. That is a bit disappointing. I was hoping that either that or I've got to hold it in a different way, just like you have to hold every phone differently. Tried that with the Galaxy S3, and it was so wide, I couldn't even get my thumb halfway across the screen, so I always have to use it with 2 hands. It was very difficult for me to use it with one hand without it falling out. It happens. Maybe I just need bigger hands. Is that the solution? Just install bigger hands, Chris. Time remaining 2 hours. But that bar is moving forward. Will Apple make a dock for iPhone 5? They said no. Anti-glare matte finish protectors do blur a little as they add a layer in between. That is true. Clear is the way to go. If I could find a clear screen protector that did not... And I realize this screen, not to interrupt myself, is oleophobic to a certain degree. If I could find a glossy screen protector that didn't render the screen less viewable, I hate fingerprints. I hate having to do this and wipe off and clean things off. It's just annoying. It's really annoying. Criminal Gameplay wants to know how tall I am. Not very. That's the answer to that question. Siri is not great. Well, it depends what you're asking. I'm not a Siri fan, honestly. Google Now is pretty cool. I would hope that one day Google would be allowed to bring Google Now to the iPhone. Who knows if Apple's going to let that happen. But the one thing that annoys me about Google Now is it keeps showing me sports scores. What's up with that? like if I can tell Google, stop, and I think there's probably a setting in there somewhere, but if I search for something on Google, Google now will push to my Nexus 7 saying, hey, the sports score between this team and that team is X. I'm like, I don't care. Generally do not care. Are you being serious? Of course I'm being serious. Have a Galaxy S3, not gonna lie. I wish I was able to unbox the iPhone today just to see how it performs. I do hope to do not apples to oranges tests between the Galaxy S3, which I would say for the most part is in the competing class of the iPhone 5 at this point. It'd be more difficult to, I mean, you could also compare the Galaxy 3 to the 4S, but they're like apples and oranges, right? There are different nuances in the operating systems. It's like comparing Windows to OS 10 or OS 10 to Linux or, Linux to something else. It's not always fair. We could certainly run benchmarks with the default web browsers to see which one runs JavaScript faster. We can get some empirical data, certainly Geekbench scores, indicators, right, of how well they all perform. But ultimately, I would say it's more about the experience you want that is going to dictate how that hardware is going to work for you, right? Whatever hardware you choose to use, I do not hold it against you. I would hope you would not hold it against me. Are you satisfied with the quality of the apps and the design? Yeah, let me tell you, I am not impressed when a company, Apple included, comes out and says, we have, 100,000 apps. Okay? 90 of them are apps that I would never use. And 95% are just not interesting to me. I only need a few, well, I have more than a few apps. A lot of apps suck on a lot of platforms. They can suck on iPhone as much as they can suck on Android or Windows Phone or Windows 8 or whatever. I don't care how many apps you have. I really don't. I want to know if the apps are good, right? So it's not the number of apps that impress me. Having selection is good. Having competition is good. But do they suck? And a lot of those apps, I think they suck on every platform. Hate to tell you. Chris, try and find to show us all 200 changes in iOS 6, says Raju Sumra. Not going to happen. Can you put the iPhone 5 on constant vibrate? There's probably an app for that. I would not be surprised. I don't know what I would name that app for Apple to get it to pass through the App Store, but I would believe that you may be able to do that without jailbreaking. For those of you who want. If you're going to try getting a Windows 8 touchscreen device, which are you going to try first? Moanis Kamal asks. I do want to take a look at the Surface. Likely a Surface RT. I don't know if I'm really going to be into spending a ton of money on the first Windows 8 tablet. It's still untested in terms of how it's going to work with the touchscreen combined with the classic desktop UI. In working with Windows 8, it's been a bit frustrating not knowing which environment I want to be in for an application. Or I always want to be in Metro on a touchscreen device, and unfortunately Microsoft hasn't made that possible. So we'll see. Depends on the pricing, but I've certainly sent out an all call to OEMs saying, hey, be happy to unbox, possibly even doing some giveaways with the channel. Not a problem there, but it's just going to take time and connections with those companies for something to happen. But don't worry, I will be taking a look, even if I have to pay for it myself. And here's the thing. When I get a review unit, I usually have to send it back. I had to send back the Galaxy S3. Not a big deal. It's not like I'm surrounded by tons of hardware. A lot of it gets sent back. So I tend to only buy the things that I know I'm going to be using very frequently. Okay, time still remaining 2 hours. Let's see here. Is it not 700 with an upgrade? Games Unlimited 121. Let me go ahead and I'm going to read you what I wrote on Facebook and Google Plus today. And I think this is a very appropriate subject to talk about. There are those people have come out and said that iOS is boring, and I want to speak to that for just a moment. And I hope you don't mind this aside as we, because I think it's very relevant, especially as, people want to enjoy their platform, and it seems like that's the only platform they want others to enjoy. It's kind of like religion, unfortunately. Here's what I wrote this morning, and it's speaking to change. And change is not always a good thing. And if you don't believe change is not a good thing, you haven't been around people who freak out when there's change. So let me go ahead and read this if I can. Change is not always a good thing. Not everybody has a short attention span and enjoys change every 365 days or even every 5 years. Do not underestimate the value of familiarity with technology, especially for people who consider themselves normal. Read, not nerds and geeks. Change can be expensive and or frustrating. So for anybody who complains that iOS is boring, you got to understand the mass market sees a lot of options, but to get them to move forward, you have to give them familiarity. It has to look similar. And someone who enjoys their 3GS is more likely to move to a newer iPhone model because it's similar. It's familiar. It's newer hardware, but it's virtually the same software. That's a good story for Apple. It's a really good story for Apple. Apple hasn't stopped selling iPhones. They haven't. They're showing no signs of slowing down. They've smashed previous records. When they do change, it's not overwhelming. It's not like, bam. Like when Facebook changed and they gave you the timeline, people freaked out. Ah, what is this? They don't like change. People don't like change. You can move the ball forward, but you have to move it slowly. You have to improve things, yes, but you have to move it slowly. Not everybody wants to live on the bleeding edge. Not everybody. You might. I might. But the familiarity is what Apple has going for it. This is what you got to understand. Whether you like Apple or not, you got to understand that is why, or part of the reason why, they've been so successful in selling new iPhones. That doesn't speak to anything else other than that is a successful formula. Okay, let me give you a more relevant example about how change can be bad even when a product is well loved. Bear with me. And I think Android supporters out there, I want the other Androids. You know, they make other Androids with different outfits. I want others. I've got to find them. Change. Bad. I got one word for you guys. One word. How change can destroy everything that has been built up. Dig. Remember Dig? Great resource. Well loved, high engagement, amazing community, great idea. Change. Change destroyed it. And that's sad because Dig had so much going for it, but they wanted to move the ball forward. They moved it too far. Dig is not the Dig that we once knew. If Reddit were to change, it would be destroyed. Everything that makes Reddit wonderful is Reddit. You can move the ball forward, but you have to move it slowly. People don't like change. So for anybody to sit there and say, it's boring. I agree that iOS could do different things. There's some things that I wish it did. I kind of would like widgets. It'd be kind of nice to have on the home screen, although I got to tell you, and I can do this easier on the iPad, but you can use, on the iPad, you can use 4 fingers. You can't do it on the iPhone. You can switch between each particular screen easily enough. It's not something I totally would want. It's widget-ish. So I understand why Apple's not doing it. I wish the weather icon would update with the current weather rather than being sunny and 73 all the time. There are things that I think Apple can still do. A lot of room for improvement, but by no means would I consider iOS boring. Nor would I consider it dated at this point, because by viewing it in that way, you don't recognize how many changes happen under the hood or, on the front to evolve iOS at a rate such that its core audience, which by the way may not be us, maybe normies, aren't going to eschew it. They don't want to introduce pain. The moment pain is introduced to a process, that's when you want to jump. The day I got more interested in looking at Linux on the desktop and OS X was when I realized that Windows Vista was not going to be for me. It took pain to get me to move forward. I honestly, I don't feel pain with iOS. I don't. Tell you the truth, I don't feel a lot of pain with Android Jelly Bean. I don't. Great features on each one of them. And I think they could stand to improve every platform. Haven't tried Windows Phone 8 yet. Cannot wait. Really want to unbox and use a Lumia 920. Really. But I just want to say that about change, guys, and just have a little bit of perspective. That's all I ask. And to do otherwise is just being a bigot. You have to respect people for their choices. You don't get upset when someone eats something different than you do. Oh, speaking of, I had another analogy that I thought was fitting. People complaining about products they've never used is like people complaining about the taste of food that they've never eaten. And I think it's a very apt reality. Let's see here. Chris, do you think that the iPhone should have different ports such as HDMI, etc.? No. Wireless is the future for that stuff, and they already got AirPlay, and that's good enough. They'll have adapters for HDMI. I've got an HDMI adapter, but I've never used it at all. Someone asked if this is worth $700. Depends. This is only worth $700 to me because I enjoy doing this. This is kind of I'm sorry, this is the 4S 5. And I'm selling the 4S. So I'm going to recoup some of my costs. So this isn't a $700 device. Hopefully it'll become like just a couple $100 if I can sell this at a pretty decent price, the 4S, to offset the cost for the 5. Is it worth it? Again, that's relative. To me, yes. I use the camera frequently. Yes, I love having fast phones in my hand. Yes, I happen to enjoy having the latest gadget. Not everybody's the same way. Yes, I offset my costs. Is it worth it to everybody? No. No. Would I recommend it for everybody? No. Oh, it's cute. I'm seeing a Twitter thing. Chris furiously faps to Lolly while browsing 9gag. I do like 9gag, but I don't do that. Sorry, I hate to disappoint you. I know a lot of people have an idea of what I do on the other side of the screen, but that's not it. I think someone's projecting. Do you jailbreak? I do not, although if you want to knock yourself out, I may be going to the convention in the Bay Area here in a couple weeks. To meet up with friends, some friends who even live locally, just to go, just to see. In a couple weeks, I'm going to BrickCon though. Diane and I, we bought tickets to get little badges in bricks. Huge fan of Lego, adult fan of Lego. I'm an AFOL. Awful. Some would say I am awful. Windows 8 is possibly going to be the biggest pain for Microsoft, says D. I'm sorry I missed the rest of your username, but yeah, big time pain is going to happen. And what I'm saying is you can't introduce that type of change to people. You can't without expecting some kind of backlash. Whether we're talking about an internet service or a piece of hardware in conjunction with software. Unless the departure from one version to the other is dramatically better and accommodates all the feedback that most of your customers have, even so, you still have to deal with people not accepting change. You don't believe me? Do this to one of your parents' computers. Move an icon. Delete the icon. Change their homepage. Who moved the Google? I didn't move the... Now you got me saying the Google. It's not the Google. Are you drunk? I am definitely not. This is nice wine. Nice boxed wine, but I would not, at least that I know of, would not knowingly stream live on YouTube while being completely sloshed. Windows 8 is good. In terms of usage on a touchscreen, I think Windows 8 is going to fly. I think Windows Phone 8 in conjunction with Windows 8 touchscreen devices is going to make a fantastic story for Microsoft. I really, really, really do want to get around and play with it. Someone asked if the Restore is ready. Down to about an hour remaining. Can the battery last a whole day of usage? People have said it has. About 11 hours with the iPhone 5, even using it on LTE networks. So that's what people had suggested. So I can only imagine that the battery life will be good. I'm never too far away from a charging device, although I'm a big fan of the battery sleds, so you can keep going no matter if you're connected to an outlet. What company who made your iPhone app? And Nassim Reed asks, Mobile Roadie. If you guys want to build your own app, you don't know anything about programming, it's the easiest way to do it. Honestly, it's just the easiest way. Victoria, missed the last name, says, very excited about the Surface. I am too. I'm more interested in knowing how much the Surface is going to cost. No one knows. If the first Surface, $500, I will likely spend that money. If I cannot get a hold of a review unit that I'll likely have to send back, I would spend that money because, it's a Microsoft PC. And I've always said that I've been waiting for Microsoft to release their own PC. Let's see here. Victoria Harrison was her name. She says, yay, I got mentioned. Well, of course. Do you know a replacement for the YouTube app for the iPad? They are working on an iPad version of the YouTube app, by the way. So stay tuned. Google is working furiously. My suggestion, use the mobile app, m.youtube.com. You can use that on any platform, and it's a great experience, or good enough for now. On the iPad, it works just fine. Maybe not as amazing as a native app, but certainly works well enough. How much data do you have? Bastard Revolver asks. My data plan? I think it's like 4 gig. I never touch it. I never come close, at least to this point I haven't. I needed tethering. We'll likely be going to a family plan so that Diane and I can be on the same plan together. Currently, we're not. It just wasn't cost effective, but we'll be making the switch over now that they've made that possible. Can it easily get fingerprints on it? I have not removed the its protective skin yet. Not yet. I will when I remove it from the charger. Will you read this comment? Asked Louis Comodromu. Yes, I will. Are you going to do separate video? This takes too long, says the Jormageddon. No, I think I'm gonna stick around. Of course, nobody has to sit through this whole darn thing if they don't want to. They can easily skip back and forth. But time remaining 49 minutes. It seems to be going faster than that though, so hopefully we'd be able to dive a bit deeper. We're at 1 hour now. In terms of this broadcast, when I've done this in the past, answering questions throughout, people have stayed tuned through the whole 2-hour broadcast, even after it wasn't live. Greetings from Switzerland. Hello. What is that? Altaria Apple. Howdy. MS Games LT says, no, I missed it. Didn't refresh my YouTube. Dude, we sent out a push notification to all you Locker Gnome app users on Android. Although Google's got a problem with push notifications. You see? We sent out a push notification. It should have gone out. Well, at least to iOS devices it went out. Android, Google's got a weird push notification system that Mobile Roadie is having an issue mitigating at this point. Why don't you run Debian? Asks Ivan Lavage. I don't know. Why don't I run every distribution? You gotta focus in on one, right? I mean, you don't have to. I'm fine with Ubuntu. Even with all the changes, and I realize they were controversial, I'm fine with... Did you guys see the video of my dad trying Ubuntu for the first time? Got like 200,000 views on YouTube. Like, it's insane. At some point I may move him over. I really might. Depending on his usage. He's still on XP. Still stuck with XP. If I can get him living more in the cloud, or even my mom in the cloud, I think Ubuntu would be a fantastic option, especially for the aging computers. They've got a good thing going for them, and I'm a huge proponent for Ubuntu in terms of a leading distribution for consumers. So I like living in that world and know what it has to offer anybody, and it's great. I love Chrome OS. I don't have a Chromebook yet. I think they're kind of overpriced right now, but I have run Chrome OS on a Parallels desktop machine. Where'd you get your desktop background? Really cool. The screensaver is just a default on OS 10. Joris Stabe says, you're not going to mention me? You're wrong. Are you going to create a public photo stream? Asked Nilesh Prajapati. I don't know. I've thought about it. I've put some Instagram... well, maybe I could. Give me a second. You guys want me to? I'll do it for you. Although I'm afraid because then it opens it up to comments and then people will troll it. Let's do this. I'm going to set up a photo stream. This is a bad idea. Name, photo stream name. What do I call this thing? I know which photo I'm going to upload, but I'm trying to think of a good name for it. Friendship. Public website on. This is dangerous. Create. Let me go ahead and edit. It's really easy to add photos, by the way, to a photo stream. So in the photo stream settings, you just tap that option. You go to edit, add, and then you can flip back to your camera roll. select a photo. You can select multiple photos. You can select all in a folder. Now I have all the photos there. Now, if I can see here, go back to the photo stream, shared by me. It gives me, oh, there we go, share link. Share link by way of, I'll send it by way of message. Give me a second. You'll see it on my Twitter feed here in a second. Give me a second. It's going to be titled Friendship. There we go. And now, let me check my Twitter. It should show up in a second. I'm just using the Messages app. Not there yet. But I may be deleting it. If you guys are watching this video after it's live and it's not there on my Twitter account at Chris Pirillo, don't complain. I probably got rid of it because there were issues with the conversation that was happening because I made it public and all that crap. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with it yet. But friendship. And you'll understand why I called it friendship in a second. As soon as it does. Has the tweet shown up? It showed up earlier, quicker. Showed up way earlier when I did this. I sent out a tweet. Oh, message send to failure. Oh, wow. Let's try that again. Oh, I know why. This is no longer my active phone. This is. I'm connected to Wi-Fi, but this I can't use messages because this is a text message to Twitter. So let me go into the Twitter application. I use Tweetbot. Go here. I'm going to now officially get it out. Paste. That was not what I wanted. Undo paste. Go back to messages. Copy. Do this again. Friendship. Okay, now it's going to get tweeted out. And in a second, it should be showing up in your timeline. All this troubleshooting. See, I've got this phone is it's lost its umbilical cord, but I'm used to it. All right, there's the photo stream. You can click it, and hopefully you won't be able to comment on it. And I say that with being nice. Oh, good, you can't because it's public, and that would just encourage spam and stuff. So there it is. And as I add different photos to it, I can go in and I'll just you'll see on the screen just one photo, the Android mascot next to the iPhone 5 box. I can go in and easily add other photos to it. And it is super, super simple. It's easier than Instagram, way easier than Facebook on iOS in terms of sharing images and photos. Let me go ahead and add this guy too. There you go. Now if you go to the website, you should see 2 photos. Let's see how quickly that updates. Immediately. And now you can see 2 photos on that page. Wow. That was fast. That was very fast. Someone just asked about an iTunes alternative. I don't know. I don't use iTunes. I don't have an alternative. I don't believe in iTunes. I manage media differently. I use the iPhone or iOS devices to manage everything on them. I don't think you need to have iTunes unless, of course... Well, no. Even if you have purchased Apple's media, which I have not, absolutely not, you don't need to use the desktop software at all. Will I be buying an iPod Touch 5G? Pardon me. Ooh. Interesting. Apple Quad Core asks, I don't think so. I might, maybe if I have some extra money, or if I can get it, without necessarily having to spending an arm and a leg. But it's not in the works. I don't plan on getting one. The components between the two are not going to be absolutely amazing. Unboxing Juice, yes I do. Master Tobus, hey, how you doing? Trying to get his number swapped. Mine didn't take that long. Really didn't. Time remaining, 35 minutes. Bar's about halfway. Now, it may just be restoring the basic settings, but then it's going to go through and download each particular app, and that is what's going to take, forever. It took so long last time. So long. How are the EarPods. Okay, let me give you my initial impressions of the EarPods. This is not a full-on review. It's a good thing to say, Larry. Thank you. And by the way, someone can go through after this has gone live and do timestamps saying Chris did this, these different points. What you're referring to as Linux is in fact GNU Linux and GNU plus Linux. True. Linux is a platform, not the OS. Got it. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it. Someone says, I'm a cigarette. Although he says your, Y-O-U-R, in the possessive version, not non-possessive version. The possessive version. He should have used Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. Dude, if you're going to troll me, at least be, like, grammatically correct or... Wow. All right, so it's interesting. I like this. And you know what? You know what I happen to like about this? It's very portable. Stick it in a purse, stick it in your pocket, stick it in a briefcase, stick it anywhere, and they finally have a cord winder. That is nice. That's something to be said about that. Thinking ahead with usability. May take a bit to kind of get in there. There is an ear pod. Right there. I don't know if it's probably not going to focus unless I... There we go. There's an ear pod. Looks strange. We shall see. Do I have a favorite app? Someone asked. I do not. It just depends on what I need to do and finding an app that works just well. They put an R and L on each side. That's good. Let's see how well it fits. See how long I can... Thank you. Someone came in and they at least corrected the grammar now in Twitter. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. It doesn't feel the same. It's a bit smoother. Doesn't hurt yet. Not plugged into anything. Honestly, I'm not an audiophile. I couldn't even tell you if the sound quality is way better. I'm not an audiophile. I could not tell you the difference. All I'm about is comfort. And they seem comfortable, although this is the problem. Everybody's ears are different, and the size of these things push out my outer ear, and that's what hurts. And I get enough pain when I wear my glasses for too long. Bass is good, Sanjeev Kumar says. Thank you. It's good to know. Are you even reading mine? 2011 Finley says. Yes, I am. Got a 4 for my brother who got a 5. So happy. Cool. Well, welcome. Welcome to the fold. What are you taking comments from? Well, from Twitter. Hang on, dude. That was hilarious. He says, I am indeed not a cigarette. I am not a heterosexual, which I don't know how you would know that. You could neither prove nor deny that rumor. But I can tell you categorically that is incorrect, having known my body my entire life. So yeah, they worked. What I may do with these for my review, impending, it'll be a separate video, is wearing around until I feel fatigued or until they hurt, or for an hour and see what happens. Because the iPhone earbuds, the classics, I've never liked. Never. Ever. It's not a fashion statement for me. It just isn't. App Lady 87 says, hey Chris, how's Diana? She is good, although she hasn't been up here in a while. She's avoiding you. Don't know why. That isn't what I said at all, you stupid racial slur. Okay, dude, I'm Italian. At least get the racial slur right. As you call an Italian a dago or a wop. A greaser, a guinea. Choose one of those 4. At least be accurate with your racial slurs, okay? God, you gotta teach some people how to be racist the right way. Okay, so let's see how we're doing here. As I'm waiting for more. Sorry, you need to say, I'm sorry, Fred. I'm sorry it's taking so long. 34 minutes is the last notice I have here. Would really want to dive into it sooner than that, but I'm filling time by participating with you guys. Thank you for participating. Thank you for the likes, by the way. We have over 1,100 likes. I appreciate that. How did you share your iCloud photo stream? I logged into iCloud website. Don't see an option. Use your mobile device. And real quick tutorial here. Open Photos. Go to the photo stream page. Add a new photo stream. And when you add the new photo stream, you'll have a public website option. You can toggle it on or off when you set it up. You can just do it afterwards and then just click the share link and then it'll copy it to the clipboard and then you can paste it out from there. SG3 is so much better. Where's your SD card slot, brah? I don't need one. In fact, there are cases out there that accommodate SD card slots. There's a Kickstarter project. I don't need an SD card slot. I don't. Everything I have lives in the cloud. I don't need anything local. I have like how many apps installed? I don't need one. If one was there, great. But I've had other phones and I've never used the SD slots, so I don't care. Why want something that I'm not going to use? I don't even want half the apps Apple gives me on the phone by default. It's not, you don't have to be 100% to like 80%, right? You don't have to go all or nothing. A lot of people want to put me in one camp or the other. How does the iPhone compare to the S3? Jack Stomp says, I love the Galaxy S3's screen. It is a fantastic screen. I can't easily use it in one hand, but I gotta tell you, I loved browsing Instagram on the Galaxy S3, reading Twitter, using a few different apps. I mean, I'm not I wouldn't say a power app user, at least on Android, because a lot of the apps that I have, I'm fine with them. And really, I've got a lot of apps installed, but most of what I use are like 3 or 4 apps, not just one or the other. So the screen on the S3, I gotta tell you, it's a wonderful screen. Absolutely, it is a good screen. Comparing the two beyond that, I mean, it's fast. I can get stuff done on it. I'm not a fan of any browser on Android. I don't think I've found a browser on Android, default or otherwise, that is as fluid or smooth as I've been experienced or accustomed to on iOS. And that's kind of frustrating for me on Android, even with Jelly Bean, stock Jelly Bean, the Nexus 7 from Google. It's getting there, but it's not as fluid. When I'm scrolling up and down a page, it's still, so it may be fast, but I'm still waiting for the speed of the hardware to be matched by the speed of the software and running in conjunction with one another. And Google has definitely got their eye on it, specifically with Project Butter, and I'm very grateful for that. But as far as Android phones go, it's really the Galaxy S3 at this point. I think when a new Nexus phone is released, that will be the leader, the number one phone for Android. Samsung's done a great job with the software that they've put on it too. I really loved kind of just trying different things that I had never done with a phone before. Great integration with Dropbox, of course, because of the way Android handles things. I've got a Dropbox app on iOS, but it's a different mechanism. Doesn't run in the background. Easy way to transfer things back and forth between different Galaxy devices. I appreciated that. When I had been with someone who also had a Galaxy S3. Very much looking forward to the next Galaxy phone. Samsung is pretty much best in class as far as Android OEMs go. And is definitely the phone that I would recommend if you wanted to go Android. No doubt about it. At this point, it changes all the time, dude. Now, if you were to ask me, what should I go with, Android or iOS or a Windows phone? I don't know. That's you. It's your money. You spend it how you want. I can give you ideas. I can give you my impressions, but that's about it. Have you tried the HTC One X? Have not yet. The only HTC that I'd tried, at least for on the Android flavor, I wasn't the Evo. You guys remember when I did the Evo 4G? I got raked across the coals for my opinions. People hated me for my opinions. It was like a religious war to them. Like, you're wrong! Like, well, you can't tell me I'm wrong. It's my opinion. But you're wrong! Oh, man. Bacon is evil! You're wrong! Actually, you would be wrong. Bacon is not evil. Bacon is good. What is that? Oh, Magic Piano, the app update. That is one thing I wish iOS had. I love this in Android. The notification center, you can reply in line so long as it's supported from within the notification center. Well, that's not what they call it on Android, I realize. You can't do that on iOS. The iOS notification center is stunted. It definitely can grow. Has room for improvement. Everything has room for improvement. Chris Pirillo, let's say other Dan on Twitter. What's the best way to silence iPhone totally? Turn it off. Or use Do Not Disturb on iOS 6, which works really, really well. What is your iPhone loading? It is loading my backup from this phone backup that I made last night. 22 minutes remaining on that thing. Jailbreak, is it possible? I think it was said to be possible. Although I haven't been tracking it. I'm not a jailbreaker. I think it's awesome to see, though. It pushes the ball forward. No one thinks Nokia Lumia is good, says Film and TV Maker. Hey, dude, you're not paying attention, because I said it's good. It seems to be good, at least. I've never really used one. I didn't get a hold of a device when they were doing their Blitzkrieg earlier. I want to get a hold of it's the 920, I believe. Really, really want one. And I'm pushing for it. I'm talking to Ben, the PC guy, on Twitter about, doing a bit more. I think Windows Phone 8 is going to be a fantastic platform. Really. By the way, I know of a way to get NFC on your iPhone. At least your iPhone 4S and 4. Can't talk about it right now. Can't talk about it. But there is a way to get NFC technology with your iPhone. There is. Apple's not going to give it to you yet. Will it happen? Possibly. Right now, there's so much going on with NFC. I'm less interested. NFC is a technology. It's not a solution, right? I'm more interested in talking about practical solutions, applicable solutions with the least amount of friction. Technology I love, yeah, right? But what's the goal? That's what you got to think about. What's the goal? My goal is to take pictures. Okay, then you need a phone that has a camera on it. My goal is to use my phone as a wallet. Well, there are plenty of apps that support it. You don't need hardware. Hardware can make things better, possibly even more secure, faster. But there's so much infrastructure that needs to be upgraded. It's not just the phone manufacturer you got to be thinking about in terms of NFC or any technology. You got to think about the point of sale. You got to think about all the vendors. You got to think about all the technologies that go in to a phone. Not just one phone, but many phones. Standardizing on something, right? And I think Apple's they're gonna wait. Obviously, they're waiting. They're gonna sit back and wait for it to take off or not take off. And then they'll adapt it when they feel that it's ready. Up until now, we've had separate apps. I use apps all the time to redeem things. I use a Starbucks app almost religiously. Some people use PayPass. That doesn't need NFC. Now with Passbook, I can't wait to use this for the first time. In fact, I've thought about downloading one of the apps and then buying something just to use it, just to see what it's like to use it. How will you call your 5? Diana will. I will not. See how we're doing here. 19 minutes. But hopefully you guys are enjoying this discussion. It's not the unboxing, but also the discussion, the going back and forth with all y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you, by the way, for the likes.
Chris, I don't like you.
Well, hopefully you like my effort.
Chris, I don't like the iPhone.
Do you like my effort?
Chris, I don't like Apple.
Do you like my effort?
Chris, I don't like your effort.
Then why are you watching? Just trying to work around the logic that was out there. Thoughts on the Galaxy Note 2? Do not have thoughts. Haven't seen one. Haven't used one. Sorry. When are you going to name your new iPhone? Oh, the Fuff 99. I love that as a username. The Fuff. The Fuff. What am I going to name it? This one is... What did I restore it? I was just looking at it too. It's either Praetorian or Pythagoras. I may just stick with Pythagoras at this point. Or Praetorian. One of the two. Usually stick with a P word. iPad or iPhone or iPod. So these devices, especially when they show up in DHCP on the network, I can see what they are. Speakers, are they any louder? Haven't had a chance to check. We'll certainly, pick up on those points in a more comprehensive review when I've had a chance to use this. Thank you, GGL 428 AM for appreciating the effort. Mode Re says, relax, bro. Sorry, I get a little agitated. That's sometimes. See here. So I think the next unboxing I'm likely going to do, it will likely be a phone. I am going to be gunning for that Nokia. I absolutely. I mean, I want to be there. Absolutely want to be there. Competition's good. It's not about living in one world. It's about living in separate worlds. And I do. Google services, Microsoft to a certain degree. I don't know. I use SkyDrive kind of, but I'm a big Google Docs fan, so I don't need Office all that much. Love the Bing app on the iPad. Love it. The Bing app on the iPad is one of the better iPad apps. What do you think about David DeFranco's Apple hate vid? I kind of inspired it, so he's right. You can't hate someone for their opinions. You really can't. It's not fair. It's like a religious war. What is this, the Crusades? Let me tell you something. One multinational company cares about you as much as any other multinational company. I mean, they're laughing right now. Like, they're fighting. Users are fighting. What war are you fighting, man? You can have your own thoughts and live your life, dude. Let me live mine. That's part of my political philosophy as a libertarian. And yes, I am kind of depressed that Ron Paul isn't Gonna make it this time. I believe in personal freedoms and liberties. I believe that the future of software is open. Well, Chris, but you're using Apple. Well, Apple supports open technologies. WebKit, heard of it? It's the thing that runs Google Chrome. Not sure if you... the future of software is open. At this stage in the game, though, it's not economically viable, but it's getting there. Linux, an amazing platform, powers more than you know. Powers how much of the web? How much of the web does Linux power? A lot of it, thanks to Apache and other technologies. The LAMP stack. We're rebooting. This is normal. Primary phone, iPhone 5 or Samsung Galaxy S3. Well, right now, it's going to be the iPhone 5. I've spent a lot of money on this thing. Too much. Gotta sell this. And I may have to sell my soul. Some would say I already have. Samsung Galaxy S3, people keep bringing up. I've kind of already done videos on that. And I'll be doing more videos on that, so stay tuned. Today is kind of about the iPhone. I've talked about other things and everything, but, I'm trying to stay on topic. So just chill.
You're telling me to chill. You're yelling at us.
Okay, Muhammad Prophet 1 says 140%. That's 140% of the web is powered by Linux. Not bad. And they really want me to install Gentoo. Okay. I will. That'll show them. I'll install Gentoo. Are you getting 305 megabits per second? I don't know yet. I really don't. I don't even know what state this is going to boot up in. It'll be the first boot up. Real true boot up. It's likely to have, as I said, a shadow of the apps that have yet to be installed. That's likely what it was restoring in the process. I'll reset my network settings later after this live video is done. Can you follow me on Twitter? Locker Gnome, actually. The Locker Gnome YouTube. The Locker Gnome Twitter account may very well follow you. If you guys tweet Locker Gnome links or Locker Gnome or at Chris Pirillo, if you do it frequently enough, Locker Gnome will follow you on Twitter. MTV bass player says, Chris, all the Gentoo stuff is from 4chan. Well, Gentoo's not I don't think it's a bad thing. Gentoo's okay to talk about. Unless there's something humorous that I'm missing here. Let's see here. Thoughts about the HTC Windows Phone. Haven't seen it. Don't have any thoughts. What's up, Cam from school? I don't know. How's the new cable? Very cabley. This is likely the initial boot here. I'm gonna reboot. It's got a lot of settings to restore. It did the same thing. Actually, it rebooted a few times when I installed the iOS update on the 4S last night. Or not last night, the other day. The iOS 6 update. Please, I heard the black paint on the iPhone chips off. Yeah, I've heard the same thing. Like I said, I am looking for a case, but a very thin case. Honey? Boo? Baby? I don't know where she's at. I was going to have her grab the case. It's just a piece of rubber. Very, very thin, easy to take on and off. And I'm not looking for anything fancy. I just want a little bit of protection, and that should help protect the front and the back. We'll likely be looking to SGP for screen protectors, possibly. Yeah, it's going to scratch. But, newsflash. Metal scratches. A lot of metal scratches, especially if you put it in things. Newsflash. Glass can break. Shock. Oh my God, it's not perfect? No. Plastic has just as many problems. Different problems, guys. Wait, why can't Apple defeat the elements? I don't know. Why can't they make an adamantium iPhone? Can't ask for the world, okay? Oh, Chris, Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Hang on. Someone said Jiro Dreams of Sushi. I did watch that, and I mentioned that. Hang on. Yeah, no. David Crandall. Hey, David! One of my favorite musicians of all time. I did watch Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Mentioned it in the vlog. In fact, one of Jiro's apprentices is now in a sushi restaurant in Seattle. So Diana and I are going to go. I love sushi. So no scratches yet. Haven't had a chance to use it. It's one of the reasons why I'm keeping the cellophane wrapping around the perimeter. I don't want to smudge it yet. I want to try to keep it as clean as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can, but a scratch is inevitable. It's just inevitable. The 4S is just fine. You noticed I did mention, even though yes I am selling it, even though yes it's fine. Oh, hang on. Restoring from backup. Your iPhone settings have been restored. Your purchased apps and media will now be automatically downloaded. There's the taller screen to be compared with. Let me go ahead. I had a push notification. Let me clear off here. Two screens. The brightness on one is different right now than the other, obviously. Oh. I can tell you this, and I don't think this is the matte protection, but the grays and the blacks on my power settings on the 5 are definitely, there's a stronger contrast between the two. Definitely a taller screen. 69% charged. This is why I plug everything in when I'm doing something, or at least attempting to. Should be charging, or is it? iCloud backup is unable to access the account. Oh, I've got to go in and log in. Okay, give me a second. That was weird. It prompted me with another freaking God. It restored everything, all right. Now I gotta do all the passwords over again. I'm a bit concerned that Diana's not around. Oh, that's what I have to do. Gotta get my mail set up again. For push. Okay, that worked. Restoring from backup. Apple ID password again. No passcode. Just keeps prompting me with password after password after password. I can't get past the password prompts. All right, so let me enter in this password again. Okay, new passcode. Re-enter the new passcode. There's a problem accessing your account on Facebook. That's okay. I've got to give it. Let's see here. What did I? This is a long one. I had to dismiss a couple of prompts there. I don't know what they were yet, though. It's verifying the Facebook password. Would you like to install the free Facebook app? I will do it later. Calendar, contacts, game center. I can also update the wow. Okay, initially just now that I'm past theoretically all the password prompts. Yep, see it's downloading all the folders one by one by one. Interestingly enough, when you restore, it's just keeping the stack of 4, and that 5th row is open now. Performance seems to be on par with before. Of course, it's doing probably 13 different things right now. Let me go. It's interesting. The screen is definitely taller. It's definitely wider. Go ahead and do this. Yikes. Email address. Oh, I see. It was telling me that all my messages are picked up this phone. So there you go. An extra row where there's nothing in it. Apparently I need to update my wallpaper now too. I need to get a new wallpaper. Okay, fine. Let me change. Hang on. Let me tell you. It's downloading 13 million things right now. Brightness and wallpaper seems responsive. Let's go ahead and change the wallpaper. Have the wallpapers been updated? I don't know if the wallpapers have been. I'd assume the wallpapers have been updated. I just chose just a plain old background. Of course, I'm always a fan of plain stuff. Well, the screen is bigger, clearly superior. Well, I wouldn't say it's superior. I would say that in terms of color and contrast, it's pretty darn close. I do have a matte screen protector over the 4S, so it's kind of difficult to really compare the two that way. Let me go ahead and set auto brightness on. They're set about the same in terms of brightness. Like I said, I'm going to have to go in and restore a lot of the settings that I've had on here. A lot of usernames and passwords, a lot of accounts. Although it pulled over, interestingly enough, my Twitter accounts on here. Love the new privacy settings, by the way. Easy to manage on the iOS 6. Chris, is the new screen brighter? I can crank it up all the way, but it would be difficult for me to show you on that side of the camera because it would just be completely blown out. And I don't know if I can really show it side by side as effectively. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, it is here. The new screen does seem clearer. Of course, I'm really not used to looking at things without that matte screen protector. But as I said, I definitely do want to give it a shot. Give it a while. I am looking for a super quality screen protector. SGP is likely, and this is like the third time I've mentioned it in the video, but as far as screen protectors go, it's about the best that I've found. You guys may have known something different, and that's fine. Feel free to make that recommendation. Yeah, so this backup is definitely from last night, but I had organized everything before and expect everything's going to be reorganized now. So anything, let me adjust the brightness a bit. And wow, I do like the fact that you do see a lot more on this. I mean, it's a bigger screen, but it is noticeable after using the iPhone screen for so long. Let's go with brightness. Wallpaper. Oh, let me turn off auto brightness here. There it is all the way up. It's definitely bright. Oh, this thing is not plugged in. Apparently I didn't have it plugged in all the way. Now it's plugged in all the way. I wasn't charging that entire time. I like toggling the battery percentage meter at the top. It's bright. It is definitely bright. Does not remember my Bluetooth settings. I will have to go in and repair with my car, which is my primary Bluetooth device if I use something. It's downloading pretty quick, although quickly. Restore incomplete. I'm not going to restore it by way of iTunes. Some of your items, blah, 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 incomplete. I'm like, it's expecting that I'm going to get it through iTunes, and I'm not. It's also difficult to say whether or not I'm on a 4G network. Right now, I'm saturating it on Wi-Fi. So I will not be able to test that immediately. We'll run those tests here from this desk between, well, I guess if it's a 4G, I'll have to use Diana's phone. She's still on the 4S. I'll be, of course, on the 5. I am on the 5. Yay! Which, the 5 happens to be an interstate here in Seattle. It is downloading pretty quick. Apps are downloading quicker than they were the other night. That is for sure. Another thing I wish they would do is allow me to reorient the springboard, the home screen, whatever you want to call it, so that the icon's aligned this way. And I think it would work now, because it'd be 5 across, 5 down. And you'd be able to do it like you can on the iPad. Maybe they'll do that in a future iOS revision for the 5 screen. They just didn't put it in this one. That's a possibility. It's a very distinct possibility. Distinctually possibility. It's still downloading. I'm just going to have to set it down. So what do we have here? Run Geekbench. I would, but unfortunately it's doing things. And to give it a good go, I can't have it doing anything. Can you say my name, Chris? Mega Amazing Creation. There you go. What's your iPhone's name? I think this is Pythagoras. Charger fail, unboxing win. No, that would be user fail. I didn't have the USB cable connected all the way. My problem is my fault. My bad. Okay, Google Plus is now fully downloaded. I repeat, Google Plus has now officially completed its download. That's a big deal. How many? You guys are on Google Plus? I'm not the only one. I got millions of you over there. Hey, it's Torin. How you doing? Where is Diana? I don't know. She disappeared. She's gone. Hey, by the way, thank you again for the likes. We're over almost 1,300 for the live show. Really appreciate that support. Hi, Chris. Can you say hello to my boyfriend, Danny, from Audrey Cronin? Happy birthday, Danny! Are you going to review the new iPod Nano? I'm probably not going to buy it, so I'm guessing no. Probably not. Someone recommended a screen protector there. La Fundacion on Twitter. Chris Pirillo, not as good as iOS 5, but I like clocks. You may be talking about the iPad, possibly. I don't know. Any other things you guys want to... Why is the iPhone 5 so long? What is it? Long phone... See if I get the meme right. Long phone is long. That works for me. I honestly doubt the next iPhone is going to go higher and higher and higher. I mean, there's a lot of facetiousness floating around. I mean, it's just like saying the next Android phone is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger in this way. You just like it soon becomes a phablet. It's not getting too hot, but it's definitely active and it's warm-ish. I don't think it's going to burn a hole in my hand. What do you think about the headphone jack relocation? Says Gab Guy. I really don't care. I use the headphones not very frequently, but I suppose it's convenient to have all your jacks down to the bottom. Or got all your jacks in a row. Did he just said he likes clocks? Clocks, not to be confused with the word that doesn't have an L. What's your Instagram? Chris Pirillo is my Instagram. And I'm posting funny stuff on Instagram lately. This morning, I did Pixie. I think I shot a photo of Pixie. It's just Chris Pirillo. Ooh. I know it's a really bright screen. I got to tilt it for you. You want a basic rubber case? Yeah, kinda. But I don't honestly, on a case, I'm not going to spend over $10. $10 is too much for a case. I just need something basic. Simple, clean. My number one complaint with phone cases, not just iPhone cases, phone cases, is that they introduce flare with photos. So there's an issue with that LED being so close to the lens. And when you've got a case surrounding that lens, that light bounces off the case and reflects into the photo so that photos that were taken with a flash with the case on look washed out. And that's frustrating. And there are very few cases in the world that I've found that take care of it. I haven't found a good one, a good cheap one that doesn't introduce lens flare. So the one that I have, if I'm using a flash for a photo, I'll be able to flip it down, take the photo, and then put it back up or remove it. So I noticed the red shutdown button when you do a hard shutdown has been removed in iOS 6, and it buzzes after it restarts. I've had it buzz before on a restart. I don't know about the red shutdown button being gone though. Is there anything the 5 can do that the 4S can't? Produce better low-light photos, according to the specs. View more of something on the screen. Run faster. Really don't think any... I mean, there are probably a few other things that I'm missing right now, but, you know, they're subtle changes, just like the difference between, you know, any one Android, one Samsung Galaxy Tab and another. I mean, there are going to be differences. Or one Galaxy phone and another. There are going to be differences. I mean, sometimes they're really dramatic differences. Sometimes they're not dramatic differences, depending on how they feel the market's going to react to one device or another. WG Hummel says, yeah, they do cause flare. I noticed that on day one with my iPhone 4. I'll do some more digging. Hey, thanks, dude. You find one, that's awesome. There's another one on YouTube that says, or on YouTube, Twitter. This man's battle station brought to you by... Oh, I missed it. It scrolled off. He was saying something about China child labor. I don't think he's aware that more than just one company uses labor in other countries. I may be the first one to break it to him or her. I don't know. Maybe... I don't know if he has ovaries or testicles or neither. It's difficult to know over Twitter. Chris, the iPhone 5... front face camera shoots 720p. Another good change. That's a good thing because I have been in situations where I've needed to take a picture of myself instead of doing this. I wanted a high quality photo, or like if I'm standing with a friend, I want to be able to get a photo. Click, I'm able to get it from there. Another difference. This is not a huge one. Some people have picked up on this. On the 4, and really going all the way back, the camera is offset to the left of the speaker girl. On the 5, it's above it. It's centered now. It wasn't that way before. So you can hold the phone centered and get a centered photo at this point in time, at least from the front, rear-facing the camera that's above the screen. I always mess those things up. But yes, it is a higher quality image, capable of recording 720p video, which would be great if I was doing more video on my iPhone these days. But, hey, I'm not going to argue. Higher quality stuff, I'm in. Someone's writing Cyrillic, and I can't read it. Sorry. Could you show me the box? Because I missed it. Pretty simple. Here, actually, I'll just do this. Does that help? Kind of. Can you see that, sir? Yeah, there you go. Opinion on the new iOS 6 page card style App Store layout. I like it on the iPad. I don't like it on the iPhone. I think it's frustrating to scroll through results on the iPhone. It sticks. It's like as I'm scrolling through, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. As my iPhone continues to charge and download apps, theoretically. But it still seems to be downloading, so I'm just going to assume it is. So if I go to search, and let's say I look for a camera, that's a generic. It doesn't scroll smoothly. Like on the iPad, it scrolls smoothly as you scroll up and down, and I don't have the iPad in here with me. But here, you actually have to swipe, and then it stops. See how I can't just continuously scroll. It stops, and it's probably doing that to be precise, so I don't have to... Actually, now that I think about it, that's why it's doing that. But it's kind of frustrating that I can't see all of them. I can't change the view of this list. It's just this. I just click through. That is frustrating. I don't like that that particular way of doing things. Yet. I am not accustomed to it, but just on the way that I have used the store in the past, that is just slightly frustrating to me. Don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's happening here. Trying to restore all the settings. I may actually have to do another factory reset on this thing to get it to restore from the iCloud backup again. Oh, it sucks. Is the ratio awkward? It's going to take some getting used to, the taller screen, certainly. And don't worry, I'm probably going to round this down here as we're coming into the 2-hour mark for this broadcast. It doesn't feel heavy in the hand, so it's not terribly awkward. I have to position it lower in my palm in order to get from one side of the screen to the next. Again, it'll definitely take some getting used to. Let's see here. What else do we have? Should we upgrade from the 4G to the iPhone 5? What's the 4G? Is that the 4S or the 4? I think a 4 to a 5 is a good leap. 4S to the 5, not as good a leap. 3GS from the 5, which you're not talking about, is definitely a good leap if you want to stay within the universe of Apple, that is. This is going to take a long time. Getting a couple of other questions. Siri. Well, I demonstrated a lot of stuff you were asking about in the iOS 6 rundown, and we're kind of beyond iOS 6 at this point in time. Look at the flipping computer. What? It's fine. Fits well in your pocket. Seemingly. It's not that much taller, guys. I mean, it's taller for sure, but I don't have an exact measurement, but looks to be less than a centimeter taller. It's not that taller. Not that much, but the screen is definitely taller, obviously. You tested a Samsung Galaxy S3 comparing with iPhone 5 at first glance. What would you choose? For what? For what? I haven't had a chance to dive in deeply in either one of them. And really, you can look at something and think initially, oh, this is going to be great. And then you use it, and then it's not so great. So initial impressions can obviously can sometimes give you a false sense of understanding. What's your opinion of the Lightning connector? Oh, it's great. I have actually got to go out and pick out a couple of adapters. White adapters. I want black adapters. I got to wait for a while for those to be out. But I'm not going to upgrade all the other cables that I have yet because they're not black. There's no black Lightning cables as of yet. I'm sure there will be. I'm just going to slap the adapter on. They're kind of pricey, but there's a lot of stuff going on in those little adapters. It's not as just simple as, I just need to slap a couple electronics and it's good to go. Plus I have some credits to kill at a store. Not Apple credits, unfortunately. Wait, hang on. Oh, someone said, who said that? Careful around ceiling fans with that thing. It's not that tall. Hate to tell you. What do I think of the new iPod? Bobby Young asks. It's good. It's a good upgrade. Here's the thing. I've purchased iPods in the past and have discovered that I don't use them all that much. So I'm not keen on buying a new one. I'm just not. EarPods, talked about them earlier. We'll have a full-on review soon. iBanana. I don't know what that is. Are you talking about a curve or something? Can you just go on Siri? Everyone wants you to. Okay, why? I've done Siri before. It's an iOS 6. iPhone 5 can take pics while recording in iOS 6. 4S can't. Thank you, ATN 18 Next C. Thank you on Twitter. That is correct. There are a few things that the 5 can do that the 4S can't. I'm interested in the anti-blur photos, and this is what I was saying earlier. As it's downloading every one of my billions and gazillions of apps, and it is very slowly. It's not multitasking right now, unfortunately. What's the back of the iPhone 5 made of? I believe it's anodized aluminum, if I'm not mistaken. Let's open up camera. Launches pretty quick. Let me go ahead and I'm going to take a picture of. Let me turn you around here. Taking a picture of the end. I don't want. Actually, I do. I'm gonna. The first picture on the 4S, the 5, is gonna be a picture of the Android. I think this is like a tradition for me. I think I've done this in the past. But give me a second. Try to get a clean background here. See how the bokeh effect works on this thing. Let's try this. No blur, no blur, no blur. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Okay, it focused in on the Android as a face, kind of. There we go. Getting the focus. Okay, now it's in tighter focus. No shakies. I can see the photo stream images coming in the background, too. It's doing a lot. I'm waiting for this screensaver to do something interesting on the edge. Okay, face detection. Go here. Oh, wow. It increased brightness there. It's a little too bright. There we go. Took it. Whoa! That was fast. I've used, granted, I don't know if it's going to move just as fast when I fill up this device with more apps, but if that lags any when I've got this device full of data, I'm going to start removing apps because that was fast. You heard a snap, it goes, and then almost immediately it's saved. That could very well be the A6 processor. That was fast. Let me go ahead and I'm going to take a look. Oh, I had HDR turned on. Yay. Okay. No. I'm taking a look to see if there are any. The regular shot, there is a tiny blur on it. Not much. There's a tiny blur. No, actually, the band of the Android mascot is in focus. The HDR seems to be a bit crisper, bit more crisp. Let me go ahead and upload this to my Twitter. My tweet. I'm going to tweet it. My first iPhone 5 photo is ... Feel free to retweet it if you want. Boo! Sending it off. Wow. Okay, so it's filling in my camera roll. Oh, I need to enter my Twitter password. Crap. Take a pic of you doing Reddit. Later. Okay, how else can I get this out there easily, quick, without entering any passwords? I can post it to Facebook. Okay, I'll post it to my Facebook page. Facebook.com/Chris Pirillo. My first. Because I have those. My dirt? No. First. My fort? Come on, Chris, type. There we go. 5 photo is. This is going public to Facebook. There it goes. You should see it in a second. This is the HDR version of the photo. It's clean. Yeah, I'm going to be interested in experimenting to see. Actually, I wonder if that antenna. It sharpens spots in blurry, slightly blurry, but I've got a very sensitive eye to this stuff. It's definitely focused in on the face of the Android. You guys will see it here in a second. Have your dad review it. He won't be able to get a hold of the 5, but he is going to be reviewing iOS 6. Chris, who tweets automatically for you? It takes a team to be Chris Pirillo. Let's see here. Facebook.com/Chris Pirillo. Couldn't get it to Twitter immediately, but you should be able to see it there, theoretically, if you're logged in, which I am not. Okay, let me try it on the... Ooh, the Facebook definitely looks bluer. Logged into... Oh, this is interesting. Logged into iOS. So I didn't have to re-enter my credentials. It took it from iOS, entering in that before. Thank you. Awesome. Let's go to that page. Facebook seems to be about as snappy as it was before. I mean, it's going to be faster. There are going to be parts that are going to be faster, but in terms of overall, it's interesting to say. I don't know. Oh, holy cow! You guys, so I posted it right. Here, let me angle it so you can see the brightness. I'm sorry, I turned the brightness all the way up. I have 86 thumbs up and 37 comments. I just find it ironic, right? Let's do a drop test. Let's you do a drop test. I am not doing a drop test on this thing. Let other people do a drop test. Wow. Okay. I gotta tell you, I use a Facebook app. No, it doesn't orient. Dang. Or reorient, I should say. It's nice to see more comments on the screen. It is nice. And this isn't speaking to just having a bigger screen. Having a longer screen to read stuff, it's definitely showing with these Facebook comments. I would see two less comments, or two fewer comments if I was doing this before. So take a look. What do you guys think? I would say the green to look oversaturated. It's actually very... Okay, here's the thing, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and show you. It's actually not very oversaturated. That may be your screen. And let me put a finer point on that. Let me go ahead and pull up the Android character as I took a photo on the... It's... I keep zooming out because it's downloading photos right now. It's pretty close. It's really close. Like that color representation is accurate. It's very accurate. You may not be able to tell on this yeah, you can't. The camera unfortunately isn't doing it justice. This phone looks bled out, but it's far more vibrant on the screen. Let me take the Android away and see if this Android away, and hopefully you'll get a better color representation in that. I've got a lot of white. I've got a different white balance going on in the screen. Yeah, it's not coming in. It's far more vibrant. It really is. The representation is very well. Although the brown box, it's a little oversaturated. This brown box here is a little dull, or more dull than the way it shows up on camera. On here, it shows like a richer brown. So there may be a bump in that contrast. So there we go. Some initial thoughts, answering questions, restoring, doing all this stuff. I will have further reviews for you. As I mentioned, comparisons. I will be getting hold of another Samsung Galaxy S3. Hopefully other phones as well to do side-by-sides. I can't wait to do that. Really do want to do that. I am no more biased than anybody out there. Really, we all have biases, and for anybody to say otherwise is wrong. We all have biases. Every one of us. Even those who say they don't. Those are the people you have to worry about. Kiss your phone. I don't know what you do, but okay. Oh, here's a good way of... Here's how much more space I've put the 4S in the plastic in which the iPhone 5 sat. There's how much more space is there on the phone. That's not speaking to how much more space is on the screen. And the reason why I say that is because this bottom part, like where the home button is I guess less tall, shorter. Shorter than the distance of that particular area on the older phones. So they've trimmed some space on the chrome of the phone. Oh my God! First live show, shout me out, do it please. Sean Ill, the creative geek. Hey, how you doing? You should test the LG Optimus 4X HD. Hey, if I can get a hold of one, I will absolutely do that. Is this today's geek out? Indeed, it is. You will see the Locker Gnome links in the description below. Have we reached... How many users do we have on our iPhone and Android app now? Let me check before I round out. We are almost close to 5,000 users of the iPhone app. Oh, dude! I should have pushed for it. If you're still watching this, or if you're watching after, download the Locker Gnome app from the App Store or Google Play. It's available on both. We almost have 5,000 users of that device, or at least people have downloaded and installed it. That would be really cool. I didn't mention it early enough. If you're even watching this after the fact. Cannot access Find My Friends. Open the app, review your sign-in information. Okay, I will do that. See, as it's downloading these apps, it's asking me to log in again. So I'll do that in a second. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for downloading the Locker Gnome YouTube app. The Locker Gnome app, period. Thank you for subscribing to Locker Gnome on YouTube. Thank you for following on Twitter, Facebook, Google+. Thank you for engaging, for commenting, for taking our survey. You told us you want more gadgets. We're going to bring you more gadgets. We're going to do our best to bring you more gadgets. It's not just about one platform or the other. We're going to do our best. And to do that, we're going to go out and try to find more people to be in the Locker Gnome YouTube channel. Good people. Really good people. Like, if we can find someone who just ate, slept, and breathed Android, we want to bring that person in. Same thing for Windows Phone. Same thing for this platform, the other platform, any platform. Digital photography, gadgets, gizmos, home networking. We want to find really good people who know what they do and who do well. And I want to grow the Locker Gnome family that way, and that's largely based on your feedback, taking that survey. So thank you. I appreciate that more than you know. You guys, in many ways, define the channel. Just like you have defined what happens in the vlogs. And by the way, thank you for all the likes in the vlogs. We're averaging about 1,000 each one. There are more people who are interested in the Pirillo vlogs than are interested in the regular geeky, techie stuff, which is a little awkward for me. But it's okay. Gonna give you what you want. What you want. And hopefully what you want is more. Cheers to you. Salud to your health. I hope you have a great day, a great weekend, a great year, a great life. Hope to see you back here soon. Thanks again for all the comments, the shares when you tweet an article. When you take this video, you share it with someone else. Thank you. When you like our videos, that shows that you appreciate, even if you disagree, you appreciate the effort. That's what that means. That's all. That's all that means. You appreciate the effort. Or at least that's how I take it. I don't care how many people view the videos. I care about how many people viewing are actually engaged with the things that we're doing. We are participating with you here. We're participating with you on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. It's about being everywhere for you. And you are a wonderful community who supports the things that we do. So if no one else has told you today, thank you for being you. Yes, even the trolls, especially the trolls. I think they need an extra bit of love. They're missing something in their life. I guess I'm the gap that they want to fill, which kind of sounds disgusting, but hey, what are you going to do? So I guess I'm going to go ahead and close her out. Thanks again. We'll see you later.